throwing fits, ripping shit, tearing it, imperative. Then I'm killing this mic no matter where I live. These derelict rappers acting a fool, this embarrassing is flagrant. That's the nature of this entertainment, and we can't even change it. Guilty before arraignment, now the system taints it. But when we speak, they all laugh at us, and y'all wonder why I'm lacking trust. Try to fight a giant with attorneys that can back them up. That's church versus science, both sides start acting up. I'm late on my assignment, hopping up a mile high, climbing, obviously never silent. New alignment, I'm defined, cannot describe it. Used to describe it as a young graffiti artist. Before the beard, I always got carded. Hit every bar, even though my bar has been the hardest. The scars on my face, and I ain't always been the smartest. But I'll show you where my heart is. I said I'll show you where my heart is. I can show you where my heart's at. See it on my sleeve, even if the beat stops my soul.
Let it breathe. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a Tuesday. Hanging out with the fellas, little sports nonsense and whiskey. Ladies and gentlemen, how we doing this evening? Pinky, Robert, we ready?
Oh man, Pinky's muted.
Pinky muted himself.
I wonder what happened.
He had a rough weekend.
He's in a spicy mood. It's all right.
You're still muted, my guy.
Still muted. There we go.
You guys are the worst co-hosts.
I don't know what you're talking about. We just keep you on your toes, homie. I love it.
Well, we got.
It's been a week without a. We missed each other. Oh man,
we got a lot to discuss. There was plenty of conversation to be had this weekend with everything.
Oh my gosh!
So, NFL, we're gonna discuss. College football, we're gonna discuss. We got Fallout. Game of Thrones new series started. Knights of the Seven Kingdom. There's NBA that I'm not even going to touch right now, but I will mention one thing towards the end just to kind of get it out there.
I mean, we'll throw the F1 news in today, too.
That's fine. So, Pinky.
Whenever you want to come back, homie, we're waiting on you.
My guy.
I was just waiting on you guys.
You're lame.
Waiting on us.
Waiting on you guys.
Mutes himself and then is so
and then takes himself out of the game. Like, man. Gosh.
Move us on, Caleb. Move us on.
Let's go. NFL, baby. NFL.
You're up. We're waiting on you now. Let's go.
Divisional round. Really good.
That was a set of great games.
Really good divisional round.
But at what cost? At what cost?
One of the games was not great. Another one, you could argue wasn't good, but still entertaining.
That's good stuff.
Of course, I shampoo my eyebrows. It's a very good question. They need moisturizing.
Wash your face. Wash your face. It's all part of it. I do wash my face with shampoo. Does that count?
I mean, that's going too far. You should probably use a cleanser.
Yeah, I was going to say, I use a facial cleanser.
Do you see this? It's called Great Skin. You don't mess that up.
I mean, I look like I'm 12 again, so it's all good.
You are 12. All right.
I know.
Talk about it, Caleb. Let's tell the people what's up.
Well, let's start with the game that wasn't a game. And that's through no fault of the 49ers. They just were missing half their squad and expected to go up against arguably the best team in the NFL right now in Seattle in their home stadium, which is arguably the best home field advantage in the entire league. So getting blown out after the brawl they had with the Eagles last week and the fact that they even made it this far when, halfway point in the season, you're thinking there's no way they can keep this up. They're not going to be able to make the playoffs. It's all eventually going to come tumbling down. And it didn't, surprisingly. Now, do they need to move their practice facility? Yeah, probably wouldn't hurt, okay?
Yes.
And for those of you that don't know that, just go Google 49ers practice facility injuries.
Yes.
You'll catch yourself up pretty quick. But outside of that, they should be really good next year. Everybody back and healthy, whatever they do in the draft plus free agency. Brock Purdy, anybody out there still talking down on this man, you need to do some new evaluations. Get some new eyes, check him for, the ability to see things correctly, and then reevaluate because that dude is a quarterback. So Niners are in a good spot, but their season's over. Seattle moves on. And this might surprise you a little bit, Pinky, but I do not think that game for Sam Darnold did any kind of exorcism. I think he's still got to continue to prove he can manage a game. And that's coming from somebody who's maybe the only person that was left in his corner after a point in time. So,
I mean, the 49ers are the only team that was left in the playoffs that have like no pass rush at all.
Right,
like
exactly.
None.
Now, I say all that to also then say Sammy game managed exactly what he needed to do. He didn't have any mistakes, and they ran the ball all over the 49ers. So he didn't have to do anything, right? But he is going to be asked at some point to step up and make a play or two that's going to
decide a game.
Exactly. And that's, I believe he can do it. I have for years, and I've talked about it for years. But for him to change the narrative in the mass media, I think he's still got to go out and do it. I don't think that game did anything to change anybody's minds, right? So
the defense
NFC Championship game against the Rams, divisional opponent, third time. Pinky, you talk about that a lot. This is a moment where that narrative could change very quickly.
Yeah, well, we need to see Sam be able to have that moment. The defense has arguably been playing as well or better than the Houston Texans has. And the Houston Texans would be considered the number one defense in the league. I think the last couple of weeks, the argument had shifted to the Seahawks. Like they were really, really kicking some ass. So unfortunately for Sammy, he hasn't been able to exercise those demons or show it to us yet because he hasn't had to. Defense has had his back. They've handed the ball off. The running backs have had their back. Now, they did lose Zach Charbonnet for the playoffs, unfortunately.
Knee surgery.
That is a big loss. That two-headed monster was rolling. But KW3 kind of showed why a lot of people thought he was the primary back to begin with. So
go green, baby.
It's not like they're hurt in the normal sense of you just lost your star running back. They had a legit two-headed monster with the guy who's still playing arguably as the number one. So still a good spot.
Yeah, they're okay. They're okay. So Seattle, we had the other NFC game with the Rams traveling to Chicago. Holy moly.
That was a game. That wasn't a game until the fourth quarter at the 3-minute mark.
No, see, I don't like that. I don't like when people do that. Just because there wasn't necessarily scoring before that doesn't mean it wasn't still a good game. There was a lot of back and forth. The ball was still moving down the field at times. You just saw two really good teams playing each other and the chess match that was created by two really good head coaches.
It was good stuff. I was not sure that Caleb Williams was going to figure out that Rams defense. And I don't know if he did. He just happened to run back 40 yards and then throw a prayer, and Jesus was there to catch it. So.
I mean, I know there's some people out there saying it's lucky. There's other people out there talking about how it's insane skill and shows his, ceiling that he's going for. But if I'm being honest with it, there's very few guys in the league that could make that play. Very few. Whether you want to call it luck or not, to run around the way he did and then to let that thing fly 40 yards to the corner of the end zone on a rope, very few can do that. So if you see that potential and ability and know that this was his first year in the Ben Johnson offense, boy, I'd be feeling really good as a Bears fan right now.
I want to cry every time.
Cry about what? What are you crying about?
Ben Johnson, man. The
only way he was staying around is if you fired Dan Campbell. And did you want to fire Dan Campbell?
No. But
I think Dan's still a good coach.
Bless America. I want the Lions to go to the Super Bowl.
I kept watching that game in Chicago just being like, I have no interest in being out there in that kind of cold weather. I was like, nope, I'm out. Get me out of here. That was awful. It was funny. I was sitting there. My wife kept commenting all these coaches didn't have beanies on. Put a beanie on, man. It's cold out there. Cover the mirrors.
But real question though, would you rather be at the Bears-Rams game or the Patriots-Texans game?
Bears-Rams.
Really crappy weather. I'm not talking about no. I'm not talking about like the outcome or anything like that. I'm just talking about which would you prefer to watch a game
all day. That was like 25 degrees and snowy. That's cake.
That wasn't cold.
It wasn't 0. And
all right, that was the question: is which one would you rather sit in?
Chicago? That was just the air freezing and falling down. That wasn't snow.
So Robert might not remember this, but in 2015. The undefeated Patriots came to town.
Such a good game.
And played the Denver Broncos. And they didn't play Peyton Manning. They played Brock Osweiler.
But they did.
And the Broncos were down 14 points in the fourth quarter and came back and won. Well, that game, it was kind of lightly snowing the entire game. And it was not cold.
I would say a little more than lightly. I was wearing my snow gear and walking in 6 inches, if I remember correctly. So, but... that game, there was one defining play that your boy Nostradamus out of nowhere and got a whole section believing again. And then when it hit, that whole section bought me a bunch of drinks. And it was glorious. And that was that C.J. Anderson run.
The first one or the second one?
The 40, the second one.
They were both 40 yards.
Were they? I only remember the one. That's probably because of how many drinks were then purchased for me after said Nostradamus, but
they were almost the same exact play.
Good stuff. So back to the games here a little bit. I heard Ryan Clark specifically. I'm going to call him out specifically. A lot of people were talking about it, but specifically talking about how Ben Johnson should have gone for 2. Now, Pinky, what's my stance on this?
I mean, you say real men go for 2.
Has that always been my stance?
No.
It hasn't?
Oh, maybe yes. I don't know. Yeah, sure.
Have I flip-flopped on that over the years that you've known me?
I don't think so.
Okay. Ryan Clark did. And there's receipts to show it. This man has publicly gone on record stating you never go for 2, you kick the field goal, and then all of a sudden, this situation changes everything. And he's blasting Ben Johnson for not going for 2. Which blows my mind because they got the ball back in overtime with a chance to win. So to say Ben Johnson cost his team the game because he didn't go for 2 in regulation is a wild statement on so many levels.
What's great is Ben Johnson's response was so honest. We were shitty in goal-to-go situations. I didn't feel like we were going to make it. I did not have faith that we were going to be able to go for 2 and make it. So tie the game up and go to overtime. And they did. I mean, I thought Ben Johnson called a good game. Unfortunately, you got to live with some of those throws from Caleb. Caleb will throw some picks. Yeah, I wouldn't be nowhere near Chicago. I'd be like, nope.
I'm with Adam, man. I'll bundle up as many layers. I don't care what I look like as long as I'm comfortable and enjoying myself. That's
exactly. That's what I'm saying, Caleb. I'll go out if I'm having a good time.
Oh, my wife was all like, that looks great. We should be there. I was like, no.
Yeah, no, I want to be there. I'm over this 50-degree weather right now. I want it to be crappy, gray, and cold.
I mean,
I'm not going to go that far. But I'll handle the elements for a good game. So Chicago should feel good about themselves moving forward. The Rams, I would be feeling really damn good if I'm on the Rams team right now, because you went into Chicago in that weather, knowing you didn't play your best game, and still found a way to come out of there with a W and move on to the next round. Now, that defense that at some points in the year was looking like it could elevate itself to one of the better defenses in the league has been so inconsistent. And if I'm being honest, feel like the run game is maybe their weakest point and now you're going into Seattle. I'm not sure if I'm feeling good about. I'm feeling good that I moved on and we won, but now looking at that next matchup, if I'm a fan, I'm a little concerned about the strengths and weaknesses of these two teams and how they match up. And Pinky, one of your favorite things to talk about, and I love it too, and you're absolutely right. Better team doesn't always win. It's the matchup. And sometimes the better team comes across a matchup that is not favorable to them whatsoever.
I mean, if you guys will remember, this wasn't too long ago. The last Seahawks-Rams game was probably the best game of the year.
Yeah, I was going to say that was my favorite game because there were so many things that happened. And to be quite honest, I really hope they make the right decision here and they wear the rivalry jerseys again. That would be sick.
They won't.
Not for playoffs.
That's lame.
Not for playoffs. They don't. We're not at that point yet where we just go Oregon style and wear what we want to wear.
You know what? We should, because why the hell not?
I agree with you, Robert.
Like, because I want Denver for one game. Like, that's crap.
I want Denver to wear the throwbacks in the playoffs, and they won't do it right now.
Now, Pinky, I'm gonna throw this out there to both of you.
Because they always lose in orange.
Does that last game carry over to this game? Meaning, are we going to get another good matchup?
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's all I want to hear for right now. We still got some AFC to discuss and then we'll move on. But
okay.
That's all I wanted to hear right now.
All right.
AFC. We know where we're finishing, so let's start with the Pats and the Texans. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not gonna say if I'm a Pats fan. As an outside observer, what I saw from the Patriots concerns me for their next round. Because you let a Houston team that had a ton of turnovers still hang in the game at points. And if I'm being honest, they kind of ran all over you when they wanted to. And then Woody Marks went out, Nick Chubb came in. Yeah, dude, they were breaking off. For how bad that offense was playing, they were still able to run the ball. Yeah, they definitely were.
They had 8 yards rushing in the first half on like 12 carries. Like that's not a true statement. The second half they got a couple drives going. How many sacks did they have?
Those go against rushing totals.
Are you talking about the Texans running the ball or the Patriots running the ball?
The Texans running the ball.
The Texans did not run the ball well except for like 2 drives.
All right, you're not.
Maybe I don't know what point you're getting across, but the Texans were awful running the football.
How bad the Texans offense was, specifically CJ Stroud, they still ran the ball on the Patriots. I disagree. I think they absolutely did. There were holes left and right. I saw big gains. I don't care what the totals say, Pinky. I'm telling you what my eyes saw.
Your eyes are lying because
they're not.
That Houston Texans offense, even running the ball, was awful.
They weren't. That was the one thing they were able to do, and the only reason it looked bad is because they couldn't throw the ball at all. Woody Marks was actually looking halfway decent before he went
out. There was a total of 31, 42, 48 yards total rushing.
How many sacks did CJ Stroud have?
Let's see.
For how many negative yards?
1 sack, 2 sacks. He took 3 sacks.
That's it?
Yep.
I thought there was more. Either way, what I saw
was he got hit a lot.
Well, I know
he
that.
He only got sacked 3 times.
Either way, I don't care what anybody says. My eyes said that I saw a team that was susceptible.
Your eyes are fucking lying.
They're not. I saw a team that was susceptible to the run. That's what I saw. I saw a defense that was very susceptible to the run. And it's not going to jump off the page to people because of how bad CJ Stroud and that offense looked. But I saw it, and I'm not going to back down from that. I fully believe that is going to be the Patriots' weakness moving forward, is their run defense.
I would disagree.
And they didn't look great to begin with all game, considering how bad Houston was. And let's be honest, how many turnovers did the Patriots have too? May wasn't able to hang on to the ball. He had 3 fumbles? 4 fumbles? It was 3 or 4.
He had 3.
So I think their strength is obviously their offense, their run game, their ability to play action. That ball Booty caught was a beautifully thrown ball and an absurd catch. Because when that was in the air, it looked like that was going long. And then all of a sudden, he stuck his paw out and came down with it. So I don't think that offense is going to have any issues. But I did see a defense that was susceptible to the run. And that, if a team can do that to you, it keeps that offense off the field. And that becomes a huge issue.
I mean, 2.18 yards a carry is not pretty good. I just don't know what you were watching, man.
Why was it such that though?
And they don't remove negative sacks on rushing. They remove it on the overall passing numbers.
Oh, my bad. Well, that was stupid of me then. Either way, I don't care. Who's got lying eyes here, Pinky? You or me?
I've got a lot of lying eyes, but right now you're just being way on the left field. You are.
You have a tendency to do this a lot. You tell me I'm wrong, and then as time goes by,
I will tell you when you're wrong, but when the numbers don't even back up what you're saying, like
I already said the numbers aren't going to back it up, though. I already said that. But like I started with the fact that
did you watch Nick Chubb go 4 for 14 yards and have a long of 7 yards going? Yep, they can run the ball on the Patriots because that's not what I saw.
Yeah, because they had 9 in the box. Because they knew C.J. Stroud wasn't going to do anything. And you're still able to get positive yards with 9 in the box, it tells me something. I see you break off these little chunk plays here and there. It tells me something. That Houston team was not good. I saw something.
There's a run of 8 yards and a run of 7. Those are the biggest chunk plays of the game. That's just a point you're making that just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I watched the same game. I watched that whole game. It was awful. It's an awful game to watch.
Bad game.
And the Houston Texans offense was awful.
Yep.
We don't know how bad or good the Patriots defense is. I think the Patriots defense is still fairly well. Milton Williams has earned all of that money they paid him. He has been a big addition in the middle of that D line. I don't think I think they can stack up against the run better than you think.
We'll find out on Sunday.
But that was an ugly game. As a coach, I may have benched C.J. Stroud at halftime. I would have said we need a change.
Yeah, Davis Mills should have come in.
Yeah, for sure. I know that's tough because if you give up on C.J. now, you're kind of almost giving up on him. But
dude's seeing ghosts.
He's seeing ghosts. His body language is awful. I never see him interacting with anybody after they get off the field. I know he had some leadership qualities when he came from Ohio State. His first year, he had, and I think maybe because he was playing well and they were doing well, he had that energy. In the last 2 years, the Texans' offensive scheme, O-line, everything has just beat that out of him. Like he is looking like he is literally on the sidelines.
Yo, note to self,
he's ready to go.
Don't big brother somebody.
Yeah, that hasn't worked out so well.
Since that moment, it's wild. Now, not all him. Like Pinky said, offensive scheme has been bad. Injuries have been terrible. Offensive line, not good. What Houston has been doing in that GM. Again, I'll keep doing this. If you have what you believe to be your franchise quarterback, why are you spending capital in drafts and free agency on your defense before you have weapons and protection for that quarterback?
Because you have a defensive head coach.
It makes no sense to me.
You have a defensive head coach, and that's what he's telling them. That's what he needs.
Good. And I'm going to continue to say that does not win championships. Is there exceptions to that rule? Yes. And I will admit that. But for the most part, that's what you're going to get. That's going to be the end result if you continue to only think an elite defense in a average to below average offense is going to get you where you need to be. It's not.
I mean, you need a all-time defense to stick up for a below average offense.
Even then, like what were the Ravens able to do, and why were they able to do what they were able to do? Because that offense had a run game that could control the clock a little bit.
They
Except
won
in the playoffs because they forget how to do it.
No, not that Ravens team.
Yeah, not that Ravens. He's talking about the 2002 Ravens.
Oh, okay.
Who won like 5 games straight without a touchdown being scored on offense.
They did, but they had a running back who ate up clock.
Right.
And a lot of it. So average offense, yes, but an average offense built specifically to maintain that defense. Houston didn't do that. They're out there gunslinging still. That's not going to do any good for your defense. So I think Houston is a lot farther away than people realize. A lot farther away. And a lot of it just strictly has to do with that offensive line. Because if you can't protect CJ Stroud and your number one weapon is always hurt in Nico Collins, you're going to put yourself at a disadvantage to start every game.
Yeah. So CJ Stroud's definitely not getting his extension this offseason.
Ooh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Are you going to give him an extension with what you've seen so far the last 2 years?
I'm not saying I would. I'm just saying people keep saying that, and I wouldn't be too sure that Houston's not going to pony up.
I don't remember what the deadline is, but they have to. It's shortly. They have to make the decision on his 5th year option. If you want to go ahead and say we're going to go ahead and do the 5th year option, I'd be okay, because you don't want to bet wrong on it, because that would just, if you only let him play next year, he plays really, really well. Now you got to pay him, or he's a free agent. Like, that's going to kill you. Like, you're going to overpay. But I definitely wouldn't give him an extension right now from what I've seen. Because again, I think I would have benched him. And it would have been really hard to do, but I would have benched him at halftime, because the last time I saw Davis Mills play, he played pretty efficient. And that I think that may have worked against the Patriots.
Sometimes making a change isn't about moving on from somebody. It's protecting them from themselves. And that's okay to do sometimes, especially as a coach. If you see your guy's not got it that game.
I mean, I'll give CJ, like, 2 of those interceptions were not his fault.
Sure.
The ball went off the offensive player's hands, popped up in the air, got intercepted. But 2 of them, it was like, what are you, like, why are you throwing that ball? Like, that makes no sense at all.
Questionable for sure. So
now, I did say the Patriots were the best complete team in the AFC throughout these playoffs. And I don't know if I came away from that game that may be coming down a little bit. The offense, turnovers, but they were playing the Texans defense, and that Texans defense is tough. I don't care what offense you got. That's a tough defense.
I think everybody's been overestimating that defense all year a little bit. I think they're so good at aggressively getting to the quarterback that
well, they've got a good
kind of skewed people's idea of what that defense was really capable of.
Their secondary is really good. And when you can get to the quarterback and make him make quick decisions before he wants to, it makes your secondary look even better. So, front end helps the back end. So, all right. So let's talk about the Buffalo game. Let's talk about it. Who wants to start? Robert, why don't you start? Why don't you tell us Buffalo and Denver?
I was surprised at how well matched they were. I do feel like on some of Josh Allen's mistakes, that would have given the Bills the game. Had there not been those couple of turnovers and things, I definitely can see it going the other way. It was an absolute juggernaut of a game. And for those that don't see that, I can't really help you, because that was a great game to watch, in my opinion. And unfortunately, and I've been saying it since the since I found out in the most unconventional way, at what cost did we win? Is really how I feel at the end of the day. Because now we're going in to a divisional championship game with a quarterback who hasn't thrown a touchdown pass in 2 seasons. Now I get Sean Payton is putting, his words behind him and whatnot and trying to give him that support, but that's his job, right? And us as the viewers and fans, do we really buy that story? Because I don't. I have a hard time seeing that success.
We'll get there. But
all I know is
thoughts.
Sean Payton pulled out his Dick Vermeil moment. We will rally around Kurt Warner and we will play good football. That's what he did. And that's what you got to do as a coach. You know, the backup's here for a reason. Back to the game. Robert, you're absolutely correct. A lot of people, they're blaming a lot of things. If the Bills don't turn the ball over multiple times at really bad spots, James Cook fumble in the red zone. They're going up 14-3. He fumbles, and now Broncos are going the other way. They actually take the lead, 10-7. That fumble was a huge change in the game.
Absolutely.
The Josh Allen fumble where he's carrying that ball like a loaf of bread with 16 seconds left. What are we it's you're chucking it deep or kneel it. That's it. You're not running for 15 yards and then just whatever. And if you are, tuck that ball away. Nobody's hit, most people can't hit Josh Allen when he's got the ball tucked away and get the ball out of his hands. That's a big boy coming at you. And most people are going to make, people in the secondary, they're going to make some business decisions. Hufanga might hit him with enough force to pop that ball out, but not many other corners are doing that. Would you agree, Caleb?
Yeah, absolutely. I threw this up on our socials. As a sports fan, I hate games that have controversy and that becomes the main headline. I absolutely hate it, just as a sports fan. And unfortunately, that's what this game became afterwards. There have only been a handful of times in my lifetime where I actually believe the refs cost a game. It is so rare and happens so unoften. That's not even a word, but I'm going to use it. That the old adage, refs can't win or lose a game for you, is true. I fully believe that. And Pinky, you're right. Buffalo doesn't turn the ball over the way they did, and they win that game. Plain and simple. There were bad calls on both sides. Do you want to say the Bills' bad calls were more egregious than the Broncos? Fine, I don't care. Go with that. But that doesn't change the fact that the amount of egregious calls could roughly be considered equal. And because of that, those kind of null and void each other out. And you have to go back to look at what happened on the field. Josh Allen did not go Superman. It's that simple. He did things that were abnormal to things he does now. Like Pinky said, throwing the ball out there and not holding it tight like he usually does when he's running down people is not something normal to him. But he did it. James Cook fumbling in the red zone. Not normal to them. They did it.
I mean, that was his 7th fumble of the year, so he has kind of an issue.
I'm not saying he doesn't necessarily have some fumble issues, but I'm saying it's not like there was a narrative that James Cook is not good in the red zone. You know what I mean?
Right.
You still that's a very trusting situation for Buffalo. And this is kind of like what we talked about with Baltimore for the last couple of years. They can't get out of their own way. And it's not they played bad. It's that these things that are not normal to them, they're allowing to happen in the most unopportune times. And it will cost you every time. So say what you want about the refs, and I've been on record, we've been on record that they need to be full-time employees focusing on their craft year-round. They should not be part-time employees that have other businesses as their primary concern. That's a big miss-up by the NFL. And the fact that they're allowing fan trust to be deteriorated year in and year out because they just want the bad publicity because it's still publicity is a huge mistake on the NFL's part.
I will say, and the interception in overtime is what everybody talks about, and everybody sees it a different way. And some people, most people have it. This is what I saw. This is how it is. This is the rule. You're not going to get me off of that hill, and that's fine. What I will say that I agree with Sean McDermott. There wasn't really any transparency to, wait, this was an interception. Where's my explanation? Where's the review? We didn't stop the game to review it. Did somebody make the call in New York? But they didn't, it's a big game. As fans, we know when something like that happens, when a turnover happens, there's a review of the play. And they usually go to the side. I don't know who does the review. Is it up top in New York?
In overtime, it goes to New York.
Does it go to New York in overtime?
In overtime, it goes to New York. That's
okay,
one of the few bullet points that they put. But again, no, but
learn
Binky,
something
you're right,
new.
because there wasn't an established point of we're reviewing this. It was just this is an interception. We're moving on. Which,
and I know from a TV standpoint, the game's in overtime. They're wanting to get the Chicago Rams game going. Yeah. Or no, Seattle San Francisco game going. So there's some of that. But guys, it's got to be transparent. We called it an interception. According to the ref, he did not complete the catch to the ground. So he did not complete it. The ball didn't touch the ground, so it had to be an interception. That was the ruling that they made, but they didn't tell us. Even as fans, they didn't tell us why that's an interception. And I think that's the biggest problem that people have had over the weekend. And I agree with Sean McDermott that he wasn't given that, announcement of why this was an interception.
And off air, we'll get together on this because it's one of the very few questions that I have still being relatively green in all of this. Because when I look at, and this is getting ahead of ourselves, or I guess going back a little bit, is when you look at the Broncos-Bills reception, interception, whatever you want to call it, and then you have the Rams-Chicago situation where it's almost identical. For me, I don't... Yeah. And I know what you said in the chat, Caleb, and I know you all explained it at length, and frankly, I was in the middle of something else, so I wasn't really going for it, to be quite honest. But I would love to get a better understanding of the difference in those catches because I see the exact same thing. And
we can definitely do that. That is off air though, because that's
a
rabbit hole that we don't want to necessarily go down.
A total rabbit hole, and that's why I'm saying off air. I want to make sure I get to it.
The thing I found most interesting about that play since it's happened, and all the conversation that's gone on with it, for the most part, what I've seen is players and former players have all, for the majority, seem to err on the side of both calls were correct. And the fans of said teams that did not have the call go their way are the only ones that are really complaining. And then you have a smattering of other fans who say they have no dog in the fight, but obviously have a preference one way or the other of what they wanted to see, and then they will jump on said bandwagon. So, when I said I lean towards it being a catch, that was strictly coming from a standpoint of if that had happened to the Broncos, I would have wanted to see it be a catch. Thinking, fan, trying to do that devil's advocate thing. But it wasn't, right? And you have to be able to move forward and deal with it. Again, that's not the only bad call in the game, and that's not ultimately what lost Buffalo the game. Now, as for the Broncos, you got a little lucky. If I'm being perfectly honest, any luck you had, you might have used it all up at this point.
It's gone.
Because Buffalo did things they don't normally do, and you were able to take advantage of it. You lost your starting quarterback, second to last play of the game.
And let's just say one thing about Bo. Love him, hate him, whatever. If you don't like him, whatever, you should be able to agree that dude's got clutch gene.
Absolutely.
Because when the
You
game
want
is
to talk
on the
about
line,
Caleb Williams in the fourth quarter, go discuss Bo Nix in the same breath.
when the game is on the line, that dude delivers dimes.
Facts.
Now,
Now,
it's crazy.
Broncos didn't just lose their starting quarterback. Their wide receiver room got really thin as well. So being out, what is Bryant and Franklin most likely not playing in the next game, correct?
Franklin's hamstrings, you never know. He could wake up Friday or Saturday and feel pretty good.
True, but I would say err on the side of him not playing right now.
Pat Bryant's not playing.
Right.
That's his second concussion in a month. He ain't playing.
So
you
lose your starting
possible,
quarterback.
But
you lose two of your top four receivers, depending on what order you want to put those guys in. Your defense is looking much more like a bend don't break situation rather than a dominant defense from start to finish at this point in time. And Pinky, you and I both don't like the bend don't break because more often than not it breaks in the worst possible time. So we're not fans of that situation. The Broncos have some concerns right now that they very much need to be aware of going forward. And there's definitely easy ways to mitigate and minimize those situations, I think. I think they're in a good spot considering what's happened.
Yeah. So talking about the AFC Championship game, New England coming to town, not playing their best football against the Texans, coming into Denver. What do you see happening in this game? Make your prediction.
Denver's winning, and I will give you my exact reasons.
Oh, man.
Patriots do not do well in altitude this time of year. They don't like Mile High. Now, I understand those are different teams, and you can't really compare and this, that, and the other, but I'm going to. Historically speaking, Patriots don't do well this time of year in Denver. On top of that, like I said earlier, I saw a defense that was susceptible to the run. Denver is getting back their best running back for this game. They're going to have a quarterback who I believe can game manage at a high level. And the coach has full confidence in said quarterback. So I don't think the offense is changing a bit. They're going to run the exact same stuff.
City's got 3 years in the offense. That's not going to be a problem.
The concern I do see is missing those wide receivers because the Patriots secondary is damn good. That I do believe in. And you're going to miss two of your top four receivers. The whole point of the run game for Denver is contingent upon that ability to play action and bootleg. And so what I actually see happening is a actual big game in the passing game from Evan Ingram. I think he finally kind of breaks out a little bit. He's had a couple games here and there where he had some moments, but I think this is the game where he gets dialed up. One, because, Pinky, what's the quarterback's best friend?
It's running the ball on a tight end.
Damn right. And Sean Payton knows that. I fully believe he knows that. Home field advantage, history, Denver's run game with their best running back coming back, that offensive line, and then a defense that I believe after watching what Houston was able to do to Drake May last week, will be able to replicate basically the exact same thing, but their offense won't play as bad as Houston's did, which allows them to get off the field a little more often to the point where late in the game, the run game plus that defense is going to be able to wear New England down. I actually see this as like a 17-14 game. Denver.
I think it's going to be higher than that.
And look, I'm full homer tonight. You can call me. You can say whatever you want. I am giving you an honest analysis. I am not trying to be homer bias. And to prove that, I gave you a legit analysis last week with Denver winning. And they pretty much did what I said would need to happen for them to win the game, at least as far as what they had to do. I didn't think that Buffalo was going to turn the ball over that much, right? So I got a little lucky with the prediction. But this is my legit I'm not trying to be biased and hopeful. I actually believe Denver is in a position where this is one of those rallying things. And I will end with this. I don't know why, Pinky. This was a gut feeling that happened basically as soon as the news got announced. And I threw this out in the group chat right away, so there's receipts. Jarrett Stidham is about to go full Hostetler. And that's what I fully believe is about to happen. And for those that don't know what I mean by full Hostetler, I can't remember, it was 89 or 90. I think it was the 89 Giants.
90.
90? Phil Simms gets hurt in the NFC Championship game. I believe it was the NFC Championship. Was it?
No, it was at the end of the season.
I think Hostetler played the full playoffs.
He did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So fair enough. He played the full playoffs.
That's what makes this.
Before that, though.
This and Nick Foles, like different scenario. They had a couple games to kind of lead in.
Nick Foles got a couple games, yeah, but I fully believe that's what's about to happen. And the final reason I believe that is because, look, I've had my issues with Sean Payton. I've called him out. I'm not shying away from him. But there's one thing I've always said he's been able to do, and that's be able to get production from any quarterback he has. He made people thinking Taysom Hill was going to be a starter for a while. He had Jameis Winston looking like he could see again. Right? So he's got a track record of being able to, within his offense, still get quality production from his backup. So, look, there it is. There it is. Now, I will say this. The Patriots passing game concerns me a lot because I don't think the Broncos secondary is as lights out as the fan base believes it is. And I've seen Patrick Surtain get burned a couple times here recently that shouldn't have happened. Now, granted, he's still the best corner in the league, and those are more glaring when he gets burned because it's so rare. And he does follow the number one everywhere on the field. So that's not necessarily a knock against him. But it tells me that if they really want to go at it, I don't see a linebacker that can cover Hunter Henry. You take out Diggs, you still got to deal with Booty. And while I think Riley Moss is a really damn good second corner, Booty's really damn good as a wide receiver. And Riley Moss's issue is getting too physical with guys. And Booty's shown he can play through that physicality, which is a really good way to get flags thrown on you, unfortunately. If the receiver doesn't give up when you're getting rough, that usually is when the flags come out. So if the Denver Broncos do not get consistent pressure on Drake May, and I mean like consistent, like 5 guys on the regular coming at him, I am a little concerned that could be the detriment to the Broncos' ability to win this game. But I'm going to go on record with the reasons why, and Mile High is feeling good.
Robert?
I don't feel confident in Stiddy. I don't know if I'm going all in on him. Fortunately. I just don't.
Come on, Jamar. Yeah, Drake.
I mean, that's like the greatest nickname in sports right now, as far as I'm concerned.
It is. It is.
Wait, your nickname is your name?
Yeah.
That's
what?
pretty fucking killer.
So I don't see the strength. I really just see the Patriots being the Patriots and just going on.
It hurts my soul. It hurts it so bad. So I don't want to see the Patriots win in our house and go to the Super Bowl, go to another Super Bowl. Like, I feel like they should have had to pay like at least a 10-year penalty for having Brady win 6. That's all I'm saying.
I need that to be like your moniker on your Instagram and any social media handle. The Patriots should have paid a 10-year penalty. ... I
mean, that's just facts.
That should be like your back tattoo.
Hey, I've never
penalty.
felt better about being wrong than I was last week, and unfortunately, I just can't pick. I just can't pick the Broncos to beat the Patriots. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. Drake May's legit.
On his lonely island again. Call Andy Samberg.
It worked out. It worked out last week. And I'm hoping that magic continues. I really do.
Your boy hates the water, but I thrive on them
But
islands,
wait,
baby.
but hang on, hold on before you say this, Pinky, and you wish that ill will upon us. At what cost? Because he chose and we lost our quarterback. So who are we gonna lose this week?
I mean, that was a freak thing. I mean,
it's Caleb who chose. We had to lose someone. It is a proven fact since I've been on this show. Whoever it comes at a sacrifice, and that I hate it. I want to flip a table.
Yo, people might laugh, and they may not understand because they haven't
I'm laughing
closely
because
enough or been
I
with
thought it
us
was
long enough.
bullshit.
My
I
curse
thought it
is
was
legit.
bullshit. And
My
then
curse
now
is
I'm sitting
legit,
here,
and
I'm
I
like,
don't know how to
God
get
damn
rid of
it. I don't want Caleb. I don't want you choosing any of my teams. I don't want you picking any of my drivers. Just go walk out. Assume a different identity. I don't care.
Get your ass back to the basement.
Just leave. There's the door.
So I've got the Patriots winning this game, and I think it's going to be like a 24-20 game.
But before we move on from NFL, I do have one thing I want to bring up though. But this is after playoffs and everything, because Pinky, I need to bring this over. You need to come over, and we need to do this. But
all right, run the NFC Championship game, and then we'll get to Mr. Roberts' point here.
No idea, Jamar.
I'll tell you. They had the exact look they wanted for that design quarterback run to go get that first down. They had the look. There was a block missed that got through and tripped Bo Nix up. And when he came down, if you watch, that right foot comes down ever so awkwardly, almost like a sprain. And I'll guarantee you that's where the snap occurred. So do I like the design quarterback run in that situation when they did it? Nope, I definitely do not. But I will say in Peyton's defense, it was there. And it was there for a big gain if that block had not been missed. So, freak injury, like Pinky said, man, you can't wonder if I do this, am I going to cost myself kind of thing. You have to be aggressive in all situations. And that's what they did.
It's the playoffs, baby. You got to put it all out there. And sometimes bad things happen. NFC Championship game. We'll get Robert out of the way because we already know who he's picking. The honorary
score,
Seahawks
Robert.
fan.
You don't even have to analyze it. We already know where you're at. Give us a score.
It's the Rams and the Seahawks, right? So I really feel like it'll be 27-14. The Seahawks held the 49ers to 6. We all know that most of the Rams offense is healthy. So I feel like they will at least get a couple in for a few breaks in between there when the Seattle defense needs a breather. But overall, I think it'll be 27-14 Hawks. Kenneth Walker with 2 rushing TDs.
You know how many points they put on the Seahawks last time they played, right?
I'm aware. It was, again, one of the best games of the year. But I think the Seahawks are armed and ready to go, man. They're hungry. They've got it. It's at home field. They're gonna go for it, man.
Now, what's killed the Seahawks against the Rams in the past is Sam Darnold's typically thrown a few interceptions. I don't know why. I don't know what defensive scheme the Rams use that cause it, but they get picks from Sammy.
But I think after this last weekend, they're like, oh, hey, KW3 can rush for us, and we don't have to throw the ball.
I mean, that hasn't been all year, though.
It doesn't matter.
That's
this
only
is playoff
because
football.
That's only because they were splitting those carries between 2 running backs, and Charbonnet
is out.
I also think that 49ers team kind of gave up as well.
I'm 27-14. 2 rushing TDs from KW3. That's what I see. That's what I'm hoping. I'm praying. This will happen.
Caleb?
I like the 27-14 call.
Yeah!
I like that a lot, actually. I was in the neighborhood of 27-30-17 somewhere, so 27-14, I can get on board with. Here's what I think happens. Kenneth Walker runs pretty well against, I'm talking over 100 yards, couple tutties. I can see that. What I do think is the difference, and look, there's nothing to back this up other than my eyes that Pinky doesn't trust any longer. But I think Sam Darnold does break out and changes the narrative. I think this is the game that he ends up being the reason they win. Whether that's a big game statistically or making the big play in the right time, one way or the other, I see Sam Darnold actually being the difference in this game. To the point where late third quarter or something, somewhere in there, is when it kind of breaks open. And that's where you end up getting that end result in the score. I think that run game is going to be a problem for that defense. And I actually think A.J. Barner is the one that kind of shows out and breaks out, not JSN. And I think that's where they're going to be able to attack that Rams defense.
Interesting.
Well, we can't
Pinky's
all agree.
taking the Rams.
Well, we can't all agree. Somebody's got to be a lone wolf here.
We could.
but
There's nothing wrong with it.
Freaking lame.
I want the Seahawks to win.
Why are you picking the Rams, though?
There's just something. There's something.
Can we just not have a Ram? Like, I just don't.
There's
want the
just something.
Rams
I just
to-
feel like it's weird. Divisional games are weird. The third time, it's weird. The last time they played, like, Seahawks were down 16. They came back, and it was a miraculous comeback. But that's weird. Like, that doesn't happen every day. You can't count on it. And Sam Darnold has not played good football against the Rams for whatever reason.
So I think
I'm going to go Rams 30-27.
Okay. All right.
All right.
So we've got Robert with the Patriots Seahawks. We've got Pinky with the Rams and the Patriots. And we've got me with Denver and the Seahawks. Denver, Seattle. Broncos, Seahawks. However you want to say it.
Repeat of 2014, 15?
13.
13.
I
hate that freaking Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's bad Super Bowl. Bad coaching to start the game. Terrible situations. It's just all bad.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's what we see. We are going to have plenty of time to discuss what those Super Bowl matchups bring, obviously with the bye week between. So
right,
we'll see how this weekend's games go. There is a possibility that we don't pick the Super Bowl right at all between the three of us, even though we've all got a slightly different matchup. So see what happens.
Find out. So for a quick little NFL nostalgia piece for Pinky mainly, this is still one of my favorite games, and I wish that they were still produced to this day. But I really want to entertain playing this game with you again.
Blitz was fun, but it was too over the top.
But this wasn't the one where it got like all out of hand and you're stabbing people or whatever. This is legit NFL teams with ratings. You can't go off sides, but otherwise everything else is free game. So I loved this game. I hated Blitz and everything else that came out after this, but this was my favorite. And of course you have T.O. on the cover, which is wild because where is he now? No one even talks about him.
They should talk about him a lot more. He's one of the best receivers to ever play the game.
I'd go for a T.O. on my team right now.
T.O.'s top 4. Can we agree on that? Whatever order you want to have, but he's top 4.
I'll bring over the GameCube or the Wii, whichever we need to do, and we're gonna hook up and play it. Just like
throw down.
Just like eventually we're all gonna have a 1v1v1 for GoldenEye slappers only.
That'll never happen. I will never play that game.
Why? Because you suck?
No, well, yes, and it gives me a headache, so I will not play that game.
I won't ever play GoldenEye either.
You're lame. You all are
I can't
lame.
do the inverted.
So fix it.
You can't. You can't change it. You cannot change it on that game.
I'll find a way to mod it. It's fine.
Like
I'll play with you.
It gave me a headache because
I can't.
Done.
My mind refuses to be able to relearn inverted. Refuses, and it has been years. I'm not lying. When Halo came out and my buddies were hardcore into it,
Love Halo.
I refused for like the first year. Couldn't do it. And then finally, one of my buddies goes, "Hey, you do know you can flip the inverted, right?" And it was game over from there. Loved it. Got really good at it. Everything was fine. But if it does not allow the inverted setting to be changed, I don't know why. My mind does not work. It's terrible. It's like I consider myself to be able to pick up anything and be good at a lot of things. I cannot pick that up. And I have been laughed and ridiculed to the point where if I see that game come on, I just turn and walk away. Don't say a word. Don't look in anybody's direction. Just go. Just go immediately.
Yeah, that came out my freshman year of college, and we had this little like area that had like a sofa and a chair, and then like a 60-inch like tube TV, one of those big ones that it would take like 5 dudes to move. They would just set up and play GoldenEye for like hours, and I would just go in and look a little bit, and I'd be like, oh nope, I'm out.
This is also one of my favorite games to play, and has one of my favorite teams of all time.
Major League Baseball? I don't know.
With Ken Griffey Jr., baby.
Yeah, I got a buddy who will make you look foolish at that game.
I love it. I'm so game.
Zach could probably win a world championship in that game. No questions asked. It's disgusting.
I love it.
I played that game for a solid week just to play against him, to finally be like, all right, let's go.
And you still got dog walked?
We went 8 innings. I had scored 3 runs. He had 1. And I literally thought I was about to be able to do something and talk some smack. That bottom of the 9th came around for him. And I set the controller down and walked away at one point. And that was the end of the game. The game never ended. I mean, it was the top of the 9th, sorry. Because I would have had to come back and try to win. I didn't even attempt because it got to 60-3 at one point.
Oof.
And I still had no outs.
Did he hustle you?
Yeah, real bad. Real, like I to this day, I have never experienced anything like it in my life. Ever. I have never, the level at which the manipulation occurred was staggering. He honestly was doing such a good job throwing the game. I literally thought I was finally learning to beat him at this game. And then it literally got to 60-3, and I set the controller down. I said, well done. And I just, that was the end of the game. I just walked away.
That's a long time to get 60 runs in baseball.
I couldn't stop.
I would have been done.
Physically, my competitive nature would not allow me to think I was defeated. And when that 60th run scored, I quickly realized what was happening was such that even if I got a bat again, I was probably going to get 9 pitches thrown and 3 strikeouts. And there was no coming back from it. It was disgusting. I need to watch you and Zach play that game so somebody else can feel my pain.
He might be rusty now, though.
Some really ugly memories.
Zach's old and has probably lost a little bit of his hand-eye coordination. So.
I don't think so. Because when we picked up the game, he hadn't played it for 3 years. I don't think a 10-year absence is going to change anything, to be perfectly honest with you. Oh, that's man, it was bad. I got Pete. I just move on. Holy
God. All right,
God,
anyway.
PTSD is real now.
So we did have the Audi reveal today. I love that livery. I think it's pretty nice. It's better than Red Bull.
It was clean. Silver,
it was better than Red
Bull's. A
Bull's.
little orange stripe on the back end. It was clean.
It's nice. I like the chrome. Yeah, very, very classy.
That looks far more
Audi.
red than it actually is. That is orange. That is definitely orange.
Yeah, the computer doesn't do a good job, but that is the livery.
Imagine it more Texas burnt orange, and you would get a better feel for what that really is.
I'm a fan. I really like it. I think Audi's doing a good job. I'm excited to see it hit the grid since it's no longer a kick Sauber, since that was a whole controversy last season. And not to mention, we're gonna have 2 German manufacturers, Audi and Mercedes, on the grid, which I'm all for rivalries, so that's great. Still got a lot of others to be revealed in the coming weeks.
I can't ever remember, and this is something, being a new fan, I'm trying to get better at knowing the partnerships and stuff, but is Audi running their own engine?
No, they're running a Honda engine.
Is it Honda?
I'm double checking.
That's one of the wildest things to me in F1 is the fact that you're using somebody else's components. It blows my mind that every team isn't building their own engine.
You want the best.
1 second.
Well, Robert pulls that up. Let's discuss CFP, Pinky. I need your thoughts, and then we will be able to move on to our nonsense. But I need your thoughts on that CFP game.
Ask away.
What do you feel? How you dealing with the day after?
I'm really mad that the Indiana Hoosiers did not curb stomp the Hurricanes because they gave me hope, and then they took it away. F them for the end of time. At 10-0, and I was like, okay, this game's about to break open. They're going to get rolling, and then it's going to be all she wrote. And then it's like, okay, the better team won. It's great, whatever. And then they let Miami in the game. And they let Miami in the game.
I was wrong.
Finally, he's wrong.
Audi is producing their own unit.
I thought so. Okay, cool.
Anyway, Pinky, continue your story. I'm sorry.
So we'll come back to that livery, whatever the freak that is.
It's livery. Get over it.
It's a stupid word. It's a stupid word.
It's not a stupid word. It's just you
it's
don't
just
like the word.
It's just the version of the car. Like, it's stupid.
It's not.
So, and what I hate more than anything is, just like we thought at the beginning of the season, Carson Beck. Like, we had more than enough time. He didn't have to throw that ball at that moment. Like, he ended the game selfishly, like a jerk.
Oh, damn. Oh, I'm going in on Beck. Look, he backed. And he hadn't done it all playoffs, which is why Miami was in the national championship game. And unfortunately, it finally reared its ugly head on the very last play of the game.
Which didn't have to be the last play of the game. We had time. We could have kept stroking.
You needed a touchdown, and you were sitting on the 45. So,
but there's still 45 seconds left.
No timeouts.
That's still enough time to get to the 20 and then throw 1 or 2 to the end zone. Like,
maybe
there was time. So, congrats to Indiana. They did something that, like, I can't even imagine what their betting odds were at the beginning of the season. Like, it had to be
50-1, if I remember. They are the longest shot to ever win the national championship. I think they're tied with Cam Newton's Auburn team.
Like, it's crazy. The amount of just Signetti coached the hell out of that team. They didn't make mistakes for the most part. They played really good football. I'm still not sure about Mendoza overall, but he can he be a pretty damn good game manager in the NFL? Why not? Right? Why not? I don't see anything in his game that's elite or anything amazing, but he didn't lose them many games. He was pretty good under pressure. He takes some sacks. I did see that he, if you got pressure on that Indiana line was pretty good. And they ran the ball really effectively, which kept him pretty clean to make easy decisions. Those back shoulder throws, that will serve him well in the NFL if he can work with a wide receiver. Like, hey, let's just do this. Because there's just really, it's pass interference or he's catching the ball. Like, that's the hardest play to defend. So kudos to Indiana. I'm not mad at Indiana at all. I'm mad at Carson Beck. F that guy.
Fair. I will try to bullet point my thoughts on this game as best I can. Kurt Cignetti has balls the size of Randy Marsh. If you don't understand that reference, go look up Randy Marsh, balls in a wagon, and you will understand that South Park reference. That is Kurt Cignetti.
I don't even think that was balls. That's just the smart play.
Call it smart all you want. How many times have I said that needs to happen and a coach kicks a field goal? I say it's balls. That dude has supreme self-confidence in himself and his team. It's not cocky. And I said it when he said, Google me. It wasn't cocky. It was based in fact. That is self-confidence, and people confuse the two far too often. So that's first. Second, Fernando Mendoza is a beast. That run will live in infamy for all of time. That was John Elway helicopter level run. Incredible.
And he got the Heisman that nobody said he earned. So
he is the definition of what we consider to be a game manager at an elite level, I believe. And I think the difference for him, and I agree with you, Pinky, I don't think he does anything at an elite level, but he is an elite game manager. And I think the reason for that is his IQ, and he has it. And nobody can define it. You just kind of see it in certain guys. And Fernando Mendoza has it. He will be the leader of a team, and dudes will follow him.
No, he'll be the leader of the Raiders.
That's fine.
And they may be good again.
I think I do. I think that will be the start of the Raiders turning it around, because I think that dude is going to be a really good NFL quarterback. He makes the right plays all the time. And you can't coach that. That is an innate ability that some people have and some people don't. And he is above average talent-wise to where then that innate ability can put him into an elite status. That's truly what I believe about this kid. You want to see what staying committed to the run game is, and you want to know what Pinky and I are always talking about when we say that? Go watch that Indiana game. Because there were multiple times where they got loss, 1 yard, no yard, kick it away. They will come right back and do the exact same thing, and then all of a sudden you're watching them break off 8 yards, 10 yards, 7 yards, 6 yards. That's what staying committed to a run game looks like. At the most precise definition of it you can possibly get. So for Cignetti to call, his offensive coordinator to call the game the way they did is part of the reason why, like Pinky said, they were able to then throw those back shoulder plays. Because the defense was forced to still play the run. They had to. There were 2 4th down calls that Cignetti had. Obviously, the one we just talked about. But that 4th and I think it was 5 late in the game where they ran Surratt in motion and then out in the flat. Just like, you can't call a more perfect play in those situations. It was just a mastery of perfect play call timing from Indiana. Indiana doesn't make mistakes. And when you have a team that doesn't beat themselves, they're really hard to beat. And the only mistakes Indiana made all game, I would argue, was in the last drive of the game. And that passer interference, or roughing the passer. And then right before that, actually, when they were on offense, the false start from their all-collegiate tackle. Those 2 plays, had they ended up not pulling it off, I think would have been discussed on an epic level. 1, because they don't make mistakes, and 2, the timing of when they finally did make the mistakes. But because of how disciplined they are, they were able to overcome those mistakes, which is absurd. Indiana's not going away, ladies and gentlemen. They are not. This is not a one and done. This is not some kind of Cinderella story. You better be prepared to start talking about them on a regular basis as one of the best teams in the nation, just like you do your Alabamas, your Georgias, your Ohio States, your Michigans, your Oregons, and everybody else. Because they're not going away. In today's modern modern college landscape, they have the booster they need, they have the funds they need, and they have the best coach in college football. and it's not close, in my opinion. And Pinky, I'm going to throw this out there again. Kurt Cignetti just etched his name into college football lore as one of the best coaches to ever coach the game. I don't care that it's only been 2 seasons. I don't care that it's a small sample size. What he did at Indiana is something that I've said could be possible for years, but had never been done. And because it had never been done, I had been called an idiot for years, and that it is not capable, and that a school like that will never be able to win because it's a school like that. It's now capable, and it is now realistic, and it now means anybody with the right backing and coaching could go out and do the same thing for 1 year. Cignetti's not 1 year, though. And Indiana is going to be a title contender until he decides to retire. Final thought. This Indiana team is now one of the best to ever step on the college football field. Where you want to rank them, that's up to you. But they are definitely in the conversation of greatest team ever. And all the numbers back it up. Only team to go 16-0. Heisman Trophy winner. Turnover ratio best in the nation. One of the best all time. The points scored, one of the best. Points allowed, one of the best. They only had something like 8 drops on the entire season as a wide receiving core. Their defense was legit. Like, every metric you want to judge it by allows them to be in that conversation. The only thing that doesn't is the name on the jersey. And if that name read Blue Blood on it, nobody would question that take at all.
All right, back to F1. So Ferrari is going to be powering Haas and Cadillac, which Caleb, we've already discussed at extreme length privately. Ford will be powering Mercedes and Red Bull, which off air we could discuss if you are not aware, Caleb. Are you aware of the tomfoolery that they're pulling?
I haven't seen that yet, but Ford technically isn't powering. They're a half of the power. Right now, Ford is just the battery, aren't they?
To a point. But the problem is that they're able to compress the engine to a certain point during testing, but when it's heated up, it's a wider expansion, providing faster cars.
Good.
But the FIA isn't going to step in on it because technically it's a loophole at the moment.
Yeah.
And then Aston Martin will be, of course, producing their own, and Audi's producing theirs. So, well, it's ramping up quickly. The grid's gonna happen more.
A month and a half out, roughly.
March 7th. And there's so many new things to be excited for as a new fan. And I got one of my good coworkers in on it today, and he's all in on it, choosing his teams and everything. So it's just, it's infectious, man. And we're getting new car looks in the next several days. Like,
there'll be time to discuss
every
all the changes
every week,
going into
if not every 5 days, we're getting new car looks. Which, Pinky, liveries are never going to change, so you better get with the program.
I got nothing against the word, but I do think it's insanely overblown, and most of these designs are trash.
I mean, the Red Bull design sucks. It's the same.
Like, every time they're like, oh, new livery, look how cool it is. I'm like,
the best one of 2025 was the Japan liveries. I really liked those with the cherry blossoms. Those were nice.
Yeah, I mean, that was sick. I just think even the standard liveries are very vanilla and
oh, I mean, they could do a whole
there's
bunch
literally
with
no
it.
reason to really get that hyped, but it is a big
100%.
deal in the sport, so cool for them.
We're getting behind the sport here, people.
Think of it like an alternate uniform, Pinky. That's kind of what we're talking about.
So, but F1's ramping up. New people are getting excited about it in close circles, so that's always exciting. Because sports. We love sports. We love talking sports every day at any point in time when we can. It just brings people together. It's competitiveness. It's great. And especially when it spills into other things, which, you know, Lego is all about the F1 partnerships. There's going to be helmets and so on and so forth coming out. It's all exciting.
Funny you bring up Lego this will transition us into the nonsense, because this is a nonsense topic and it blew my mind. Did you know Lego won Toy of the Century twice?
Yes.
That's
Again,
crazy to me.
In not only that, not only are they considered a toy, they are considered in certain capacities, but on a market standpoint, it's worth more than gold and silver. You can fact check me on that.
What do you mean by market?
So, in the last so many years, the cost of a Lego brick has just continuously grown. To where a lot of the Lego brick pricing and some of the sets and things like that are retired or have a certain piece to it trade for ridiculous amounts, to where you can actually make more money off of Lego than in gold and silver in some cases. Not always, but it is a very big thing in the collectible and just overall market itself, because Lego is just,
I mean, I feel like
ridiculous.
I understand what you're saying, but I feel like then you could make that argument for trading cards of any kind. And
Yeah, it's not a fair comparison because it's not all Legos. It's just certain ones that are scarce and hard to get. So they're more like certain memorabilia that's one of
yeah,
one.
because like the sports cards market took a huge dive in the late 90s, and it's seen an absurd resurgence here of recent.
But Lego's appreciation has never gone negative.
It's the same thing with collectibles. It's like literally like the more scarce they are, the more they're going to cost, because again they have a higher value.
Yeah.
So
but still,
it's not really it's not a comparison. You can't even make that comparison.
I understand what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I just feel like then that argument could be made for quite a few other collectible.
In certain cases, Lego is in a actual study standpoint, Lego is more trackable, and the appreciation of it is out the roof. And I'll be happy to post links in the chat later and things. It's pretty wild.
I understand, because I know there's certain sets coming up that are already tasked as buy and don't open and sell in 10 years for 100% markup profit. So in that sense, there's always going to be a Lego set at this rate that will come out that will then become said market value. So that does, in a way, allow it to be consistent. Whereas trading cards, collectibles, things of that nature, it's not just a release. It has to be a specific player in order for said thing to continue the value. So I get where you're coming from. It's not something crazy. I would quite probably use in my
I would
analytics, but I get it.
Absolutely, I would, because you can make a quick turn on it quickly.
But only certain sets. It's not all Lego bricks.
Yes.
Again, for the certain sets, you'll be
certain
surprised.
Sets. But if you're comparing Lego as a whole, it's all Lego bricks and gold. And gold always has a steady price.
I agree with Pinky. The way you state it is such that here's my Lego brick. Doesn't matter what it is or where it's from. Its value is such that it will continue to rise. And that's the sets that are of that value and do that are a very small minority of the overall Lego empire. I bet it's less than 1% of what they release.
For the retired, I think it's around 9.
You're going to one thing. You're going to one thing.
But
retired. They don't make it anymore. That's it. We're talking all. When you make that statement, you're talking all Lego. So all Lego is not more than gold. Just certain expired sets that you can't get continue their value and their appreciation because they're harder to get. It's like the Mona Lisa. She has great appreciation because there's only one of her. It's the same thing as Lego.
Well, she also looks at you no matter where you are, which is insanely.
And she has no eyebrows, which figure that out.
She's really ugly too. Like I don't know why.
Smiling,
and it's like this big.
Content?
But that's why you're
it's like this big.
Your statement
like
is
this
fun, but it's not factual. So
but
Well, it's factual. It's just
factual to certain sets, not to all Lego.
well, it's a factual statement. It's just how deep do you want to go into those facts to then say this is where the factual ends? It's a blanket statement of sorts.
Hey, look, that red brick that I've stepped on multiple times is not worth anything. Okay.
you'd be
Yeah, it's not
surprised.
giving you that 3,000 per ounce kind of feeling.
Well, the ones that wash up on shore from when the Lego crates fell into the sea, those are worth quite a hot bit. That's pretty crazy.
Isn't that one specific beach in England or Spain or something?
The most recent one showed up in Cornwall. There's been some that have fallen into New
Cornwall?
York.
That's England then. Why are you shaking your head at me?
Some have been in New York.
Right?
There have been
right?
some
I
in
mean,
Spain.
if we're being Cornwall is England.
I'm not shaking my head.
Moving on.
Anyway,
I want to
Fallout.
Yeah.
The
Round us
damn.
out.
Robert, did you know that this was coming and why last week you were a little bit coy, if you will? Is this part of the game that I don't know about where that happens to the ghoul?
Let me put it this way. Like, the city and everything, shot for shot. The Ghoul and Lucy are independent to the TV series itself.
Right.
But everything else, like, shot for shot. So I can't really say much anymore because it's like, okay, we're really going here. This isn't just some like, oh, hey, this is New Vegas and we're calling it. No, this is New Vegas.
I'm so
Through
glad
and
I never
through.
played the games because I am loving
Now
all of
I'm
this.
just sitting here. I'm like, okay, what else are we going to see?
Superman punched the ghoul out onto a spike.
Power fist. Pacha! Yes, that I was like, as soon as she picked up her power fist, I was like, oh, okay, we're gonna really have a good day. Someone's day is gonna be ruined, but you're gonna have a good day.
I mean, and then that whole situation, what happens next is wild. Because there are so many things that could happen. And again, I didn't play the game, so I can freely just walk around and talk about any of the things that could be possible, and I don't have to care. Lucy's going back with her dad. That shit is definitely hitting the fan inside when she wakes up, and dad has no idea what his daughter is truly capable of and who she is now. I cannot wait to see the chaos that ensues there. I by no means think the ghoul is dead, but I'm going to be very interested to see how he survives and who helps him to be able to correct his situation.
He's gonna pull himself off.
I do think he finally had a bit of an epiphany, if you will, where his persona is going to shift more back towards who he originally was before shit hit the fan and the bombs dropped. I think that person was awakened within him a little bit, and you're going to see more good guy than bad guy, but still with the bad guy flair. Lucy's brother is fucked, and I cannot wait to see how that intertwines with Lucy and the dad, because I fully think dad is about to mass execute a bunch of junior executives in some way. I just don't know how it's going to go down yet, but I do believe they're about to get screwed, and they don't even know because they don't know that that is his son. We didn't even get to see what's going on with Maximus yet, and we all know that's coming back to have an effect on something. My mind is going 1,000 miles a minute with the different scenarios and possibilities, and I know we don't really have the time to talk about all of them. So, Robert, what I do want to ask you, and I don't know if you can answer this or not, but I feel like the death clause play a major role moving forward in the outcome of Lucy's dad's newfound safety within damn it, what's the guy's name again? The really rich dude of the robotics and the smartest man in the
Mr.
world.
House.
House, thank you. I think that plays a role in there based on what House said to the ghoul, and I just like calling him the ghoul.
Well, that's his name. I mean, he's the ghoul. That's just fair.
I think that plays a major role into how the ghoul, Lucy, dad, brother all have to kind of intertwine here coming up. And I'm interested to see how that plays out based on what House said to the ghoul before everything hit the fan and the bombs were dropped, because there's a third party that he doesn't even know and hasn't figured out what's going on yet. And that is insanely interesting to me.
Keep in mind that the ghoul and Lucy's dad have already met.
Oh, yeah. That's, I mean, if you couldn't even pick that up from the interactions, I mean, that's insanely obvious, right? But
it's
when they met, there was a very different power dynamic. And watching the ghoul realize he's not the one in the power anymore is such an interesting back and forth, because if I'm being honest, Lucy's dad, as far as I'm concerned, is an ambitious idiot. I don't think he's that smart. I think he's playing somebody else's playbook. And when that playbook ends and he has to start making his own, I think that's when we see everything kind of.
And that's what makes
I could be totally wrong. Didn't play the game. Don't know. This is just what I'm guessing right now.
And that's what makes his character such an enigma, is because we don't really know enough yet to know his motivations as a character, right? We haven't gotten to know him in certain elements other than he's got a goal. He achieved a goal. What's next with this goal? And who does it impact? So there's a lot of other moving things. Mr. House is a very big, prominent person. We have 3 weeks left.
Maximus and that cold fusion's incoming, baby.
It's going to get crazy. It is going to get crazy. Which, as long as, because if I'm not mistaken, Season 3's already been confirmed, so we should have that in the beginning of next year.
How many games are there? 5.
Fallout,
New
Fallout
Vegas
2,
is
Fallout 3, New Vegas, Fallout 4, Fallout 76.
So New Vegas is the 3rd installment?
4th.
Are they chronological, or is it a bounce, like they do 3 and then it'll kind of bounce back, or?
I would have to double check myself. I can't remember exactly. I think it bounces around, but I'm not 100. I can't recall with 100%.
What I'm getting at then is there's enough in the video game that they can continue to work off of and build for seasons, or are they going to have to go Game of Thrones and completely go off script and make their own?
Yeah, they don't have to do that. There's a lot of lore already. Which, on a quick tangent before we get into the last topic, is what benefits a lot of, well, it should benefit a lot of production companies when producing video game TV series, movies, whatever, because there is a lot more lore than what you have in a written medium like Game of Thrones. Halo is a perfect example. And I'm not going to go down that because that's immense. But the Halo series is something that you could, almost like Star Wars, just do and never run out of shit. Ever.
I can see that, sure.
Assassin's Creed is another, which Netflix is getting ready to redo themselves because it's all historically based stories. You could just pick a decade, doesn't matter what, and just go for it.
As long as it's got Batista, I don't care.
So that's a good transition then, Robert, into our final topic.
Which is
the new Game of Thrones season, new Game of Thrones series, I should say,
has already been written. So if you want to know how this story goes, you'll hear it from me. And if you don't care about spoilers, it is out there for you to find. You can go read the entire story. This is set 100 years before what we get in season 1 of Game of Thrones. But it is already written story. That being said, this is not your traditional Game of Thrones. You have a core character or characters, if you will. Yes, you have the normal players, Targaryen, Baratheon, and whoever else decides to show up later. But this is a already predetermined character line. You have who you're voting for. You have your hero. Now it falls on to the viewer if they're ready for that, in my opinion. Because this is now a very different Game of Thrones story. You're not going to have the political violence. You're not going to have the intrigue. You're not going to have
maybe not yet.
Not yet, but you have your defined person. You know who you're going to see and develop and follow. All these other characters are supporting cast.
Which, look, let's be honest.
It's to the viewer to decide if they like it.
This should be the way it's told. People are talking about, oh, it doesn't feel like Game of Thrones. Oh, it's more comedy. Oh, it's more quirky. It's this, that, and the... Yeah, it should be. Because you're not watching the Game of Thrones. You're not watching kings fighting kings to rule the kingdom. You're watching a normal, almost peasant within the kingdom live their life. And that's not going to come with the same level of consistent drama and upheaval and turmoil that you would see when the kingdom is constantly being fought over by the top. So you get to see a character actually develop and grow in a sense that they are a normal human. So there's going to be comedy. There's going to be heartbreak. There's going to be sadness. There's going to be happiness. There's going to be struggle. There's going to be doubt, uncertainty in a humanistic way, not a God-like way, not a I'm above everybody way. And the fact that they were able to do that within the very first episode, to me personally, I think is huge and sets up the series really well because you actually will believe the growth and development of said character.
Well, and I think, and this is what, and this may be a little ostentatious to say, because from my personal viewing of this first episode, from my first episode watch of The Mandalorian, I could say it's the equivalent of this is really what the world is, separate from Skywalkers. Separate from, in this case, the Targaryens and the Starks and whatever else.
It's a good way to say it.
I think that this series is really going to decide the future of Game of Thrones, where you had the Fear the Walking Dead for The Walking Dead, and it just, now you're in a total jumbled garden of bullcrap, and you don't even know what you're watching anymore. I think this will clearly define, this is what this world is, this is where we're at, let's have a good time and see where we go. Because later this year, we'll get House of the Dragon Season 3, which is prequel to this.
Wait, House of the Dragon is
Before this.
Okay. Yeah.
House of the Dragon is like the
Couple
prequel
thousand years,
trilogy,
right?
100 years.
House of the Dragon is only 100 years?
Well, hold on. Which timeline are you trying to define?
Give me where House of the Dragon is, and then where Knights of the Seven Kingdom is.
So, the Dance of Dragons is like 200 years before Game of Thrones. A Knight of the Seven Kingdom is roughly 100 years before the Game of Thrones. So you have House of the Dragons, Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Awesome.
All
So
right,
think
final
like-
thoughts, gentlemen.
Yeah. Dude, life is amazing. My nephew's getting into preschool, who was born 7 minutes brain dead and everything else. Little dude's a trooper and is a race car fanatic, and F1 will be in his life for whatever reason because I'm a cool uncle. I think it's great that at not even quite 3 that they qualified him to be in preschool when this kid shouldn't even be here. So that's, I mean, family, everything. We talk about it all the time. Getting to not only share that with him, but he was even on our social media this week with supporting the Broncos with my niece. So it's quite the tremendous feat and almost a freaking miracle that we're at where we are with him, and it's awesome.
Love it. Pinky?
Spend time with your family and friends on this wonderful conference championship weekend.
I'm a big Steph Curry guy. That's no secret. He will never win another championship again. And if I'm being perfectly honest, it is his own damn fault. That dude is the highest paid player in the league on a yearly average. And you want to talk about being able to put a quality team around you, might need to look at taking a pay cut, Steph. But it's too late. I thought you might have had one last window. I was really hoping for it. It's done. Steph Curry will never be competing for a championship again. And it hurts me to say that. But his run is over. That roster is a mess. Jimmy Butler down pretty much negates any opportunity to go out and make a trade to improve it. They can't even dip into the tax brackets enough to get this team back to championship contention in my mind. So bummed that I finally had to come to that realization. Greg, you're right. You're right, good sir. Go spend that quality time with your family, loved ones, friends. Figure out who your inner circle is. Cherish those moments. It doesn't have to be a big circle. Just make it a tight-knit circle. And that's all you need. Spend those moments with them. Cherish them. Do not take them for granted. Like, follow, share, support. Please hit all those damn buttons for us. We appreciate it more than you will ever know. Interact with us. Tell us what you want to talk about. Let us know what you're thinking. We appreciate anybody out there that wants to be a part of this little universe that we're trying to create. Till next week. Out. Peace.
Pinky in the building, reppin' orange and blue. Broncos country, yeah, you know how we do. Hot take so wild, you remember the name. From college ball to the pros, Caleb spitting game. Robert here, the pop culture plug. From comics to racing, pour the drink in the mug. Sports, nonsense and whiskey, yeah, bold talk. Good laughs and a glass in the air. sports. Nonsense and whiskey, right? Kick back, tune in, take a wild side stride.